Yeah, hi there, and these comments are for D, the big D, buddy. And I'm looking at your paragraph that you sent me by email, so the purpose here is to show that walking is a less expensive form of transportation than taking the airplane. That's what you're trying to show here, right? So even in the beginning, I prefer to travel by walking because I would say it is a lot less expensive than taking the airplane. That's what I would say. And then you need a topic sentence first, right? So then you can say this sentence. 10 years ago in my village, there was no car, only I would say this, the only I would just say it like that. And then instead of this way, you might say, instead of saying easier, I would just say less expensive. Instead of saying and that, I would say in that or because. So walking is less expensive for me in that I do not pay for transportation. Maybe put when walking. In 2004, for example, when I was in high school, I went to the capital city. Let's say went on a 2-day walk. This is probably how I would say this. Maybe instead of saying that, say which is. That's one thing you want to do is you need to advance your grammar a little bit more than what you're doing. Okay, you say in 2004, for example, when I was in high school, I went on a 2-day walk to the capital city, which is 120 miles away. This sentence doesn't really do very much, so I'm going to get rid of it. Then, when I went back to the village from the capital city by airplane, it was more expensive than walking. And I'm going to change this, give you a gerund here, so you can say, traveling by airplane costs about $50 and takes 40 minutes. After I paid for an airplane, my money ran out. Which is why I do not like traveling by airplane. Yeah, change this to Although the government is making a road from the capital city to my village for land transportation, if you say although, you can't use but in the same sentence, because if you're saying although, you're using what's called a dependent clause. So you cannot, you can't use a conjunction to join a dependent clause to an independent clause. But you could say that, although the government is making a road from the capital city to my village for land transportation, it is still expensive. I would say to travel using that road. Last year when I traveled to another city by walking, it was a lot less expensive than traveling by automobile or airplane. And here you need cause effect, right? Therefore, I prefer to travel around the city maybe say here by walking, and then say which is better than using the airplane. Which is a lot less expensive than using the airplane. So I'm changing at the end of your paragraph there. You want to make sure that the beginning of the paragraph, the end of the paragraph kind of have that coherent type connection. That's why I changed it to read what it says there. All right, let's take a look at your paragraph one more time. So, I prefer to travel by walking because it is a lot less expensive than taking the airplane. 10 years ago in my village, the only method of travel was the airplane. Walking is less expensive for me in that I do not pay for transportation when walking. In 2004, for example, when I was in high school, I went on a 2-day walk to the capital city, which is 120 miles away. Then, when I went back to the village from the capital city by airplane, it was more expensive than walking. Traveling by airplane costs about $50 and takes 40 minutes. After I paid for my ticket to travel in an airplane, my money ran out, which is why I do not like traveling by airplane. Although the government is making a road from the capital city to my village for land transportation, it is still expensive to travel using that road. Last year when I traveled to another city by walking, it was less expensive than traveling by automobile or airplane. Therefore, I prefer to travel around the city by walking, which is a lot less expensive than using the airplane. And this is better. This is a better paragraph than the one you wrote originally. It really is. So I like the idea here. You gave the example about walking from one city to the next, and it was amazing. You walked for 2 days, 120 miles. That's 60 miles a day. That is a long ways to walk in one day. I'm telling you. Yeah, hold on a minute. Okay, now the next thing is, what is your score on this? I think it's better, but you still have some language use issues in there, so let me see what we have. I'm going to go ahead and take a look at it right now. Okay, let's go into the links, see what we have. Yeah, the problem here is you're still having some sentence structure, sentence combining issues, and so on, but it's definitely better written than the original one. So I'm going to put you at 3.0 out of 4, 20 points out of 30 on this one. That's kind of where your score is right now. Now, if you want to go into our syllabus to find out your score, you can do that right now. All right, let's go into the syllabus. So this would put you at 76% on this assignment. So I think you're better than what you were before. Now the question is, what can you do in the grammar part of my course to improve? So I'm looking at some examples here. I'm looking at the different kinds of grammar I think that you need to improve on. Lesson number 4 in grammar, sentences with appositives. Lesson 6, sentences with adjective clauses. Lesson 6.1, that and which. I think that's going to be important. Understanding how to use adverb clauses, lesson number 8, and then understanding how to use compound sentences, lesson 5. Remember, you tried to mix 2 different kinds of sentence structures together, so make sure you understand those 2 lessons so you don't do that. I'm going to say parallel structure, lesson 14. That's a good lesson for you to take a look at. The next one, lesson 25, comma splices. I think you can do better with that. Lesson 27, being more concise. I think that's a good lesson. Now, in the writing part of my course, on this one, I think you need to improve your topic sentences. I still had to write a topic sentence for the paragraph, so go to lesson number 5.2 where it says one simple trick to improve topic sentences. I think that's good. Another one is using transition words to connect ideas. Lesson 5.3, I think that's a good lesson, and that helps you connect ideas from one sentence to the next. And then one more lesson, I think we're good. Lesson number 8, how to make your writing more coherent. So those are lessons I think you need to review before you do the midterm exam on Monday. All right?